Howdy. This is the introduction to my new video series, Anacortes, San Juan Islands, Washington State Ferry Service 101. All this information was in here. What I thought was going to be about one video's worth of information has turned out to be 5 or 6. So, stay tuned, and I will remember all this stuff I'm getting ready to erase. Stay tuned for the San Juan Island Ferry 101. Lots of tips and tricks that are going to save you time, heartache, money, and make your trip to the San Juan Islands more enjoyable. See you in a bit. Don't worry, it's all still up here. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm not sure if I mentioned it previously or not, but I'm planning on doing a series of videos on Anacortes, San Juan Island Ferries 101. There are lots of tips and tricks that you can use to make your trip to the San Juan Islands a lot more enjoyable. There's lots of things that if you're not aware of can make your San Juan Islands trip less than enjoyable. And last week I started to write down some of the tips and tricks and information that I thought might be valuable to anyone planning a trip up here to the San Juans. And as you can see behind me, it turned out to be quite a list. So much information, in fact, that I think it's going to be probably a 6-part video series. The first part of the video series, I'm going to start by referencing some of the tools you can use while you're up here riding the ferries. Some of these tools will give you the most up-to-date information on sailing schedules, cancellation of sailing schedules, cancellation of inter-island service between the islands once you're up in the San Juans. I'm going to try and discuss the effects COVID have had the last couple years on the San Juan Island ferry service and basically the ferry service throughout Washington State. They tend to prioritize the San Juan Island runs as far as staffing because these are some of the islands that you can't get to by car driving. The only access to or from is by ferry. I'm going to discuss vessel capacities, some of the capacities for vehicles as well as walk-on passengers. Those capacities have also, or at least the walk-on capacities, have been impacted by COVID. And so a lot of the information contained in these videos is subject to change by season to season, subject to change by staffing issues, and subject to change by COVID impacts. So the first video, like I said, I'm going to do is going to be on tools, schedules, some vessel capacities. Probably the second video I'm going to do is going to have to do with fares and how you're charged to ride the ferry and how to save money when riding the ferries, whether or not it's feasible to park your vehicle in the pay lots and walk on the boat to get where you need to go. Some of the discounts that are offered, how the ferry system charges you by vehicle size, and some tips and tricks on how to save money there. Number 3, I'm probably going to go into some information on the 5 destinations that we sail to. I'm not sure if the service to Sydney, British Columbia is going to be restored in the summer of 2022. It's been shut down for the last couple years, and all that will depend on the government in British Columbia. But we do in the summertime offer service to Sydney, British Columbia on Vancouver Island, which is close to Victoria, British Columbia, on the south end of Vancouver Island. As well as the 4 other destinations: Lopez Island, Shaw Island, Orcas Island, and San Juan Island, with the port of Friday Harbor. The next video I'm probably going to do is some information on the different terminals and the differences between the terminals. The terminals on the islands, the San Juan Islands, are contracted out to private companies. They are not staffed by Washington State Department of Transportation employees. So there are slight differences in the terminals. There's also some differences in the availability of services close to each terminal. So I'll try and discuss that in one of the videos. The next video I'll probably do will be the seasons. The differences in the seasons as it relates to the ferry service and schedules, and also what's available to do once you get to the islands. Some of that will be covered by the wildlife. I'll try and do a little bit of discussion of the wildlife available at each one of the terminals, as well as concessions on the boats as well as in the terminals that's available. That's also been impacted this year and last year by COVID. So keep in mind, all of this can change by the season, by staffing availability, by mechanical breakdowns. These ferries are machines, and so they do break down, and COVID. So I think the last video I will do will have to do with some of my pet peeves, my personal pet peeves, on some of the issues that I come across working for the Washington State Ferries on the San Juan Islands run, along with whatever questions may come up throughout the other video series. And if there's a lot of questions that pop up, I'll try to answer those in the last video along with my pet peeves. So as you can see, I've got a lot of information here to try and organize and put into individual videos. I'm going to start today by erasing all this information that I've taken a picture of so I can remember it. And then I'll start off with the first video here within a week or so. And that'll be tools and tips and tricks and schedules and vessel capacities for riding the ferries up to the San Juan Islands. I really believe that this information will save you a lot of heartache. It will make your trips more enjoyable. It'll make our jobs more enjoyable because you already know what you're doing when you get there. And if you find this information useful, helpful, I'd appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that after this initial video you'll be notified when the first video comes out. And I appreciate your support, and thanks for watching.